extrapolation by petitioner from first respondents, innocuous error in interchanging total votes cast for total valid votes cast can be found at paragraph 8 and 10 of the petition. Thereafter, petitioner disputes the mathematical calculation of the percentage of votes declared by first respondent. He alleges in paragraph 8 that Tion, based on his own calculations, and now we already took inverted commas, votes cast for second respondent would amount to 50.098% and not the 51.595 erroneously declared. But what said, and the one said that made them a paper be a year of friends. I'm making one follow. But that was so bit my highlight a cry. What could just what can you? And this is the first statement of the court or say he alleges in paragraph 8 that based on his own calculations, votes cast for second respondent, and in this case, second respondent here, Nana Adodam Kwekufuado, would amount to 50.098% and not the 51.595 erroneously declared.
Now 50.09%, am I will be mini election?
That's a big question.
50.09%, am I will be mini election now?
80 ebra, but you will tell you whether official. Now, as I call next paragraph, next one, no, maybe read back could be a chairman who say NDC4. Call number 6, paragraph 6. Paragraph 6 was say a sequel to the absurd extrapolations that petitioner makes in support of his reliefs are the assertions related to the addition of the total registered votes in Techima South constituency. This can be found, in essence, even though the results of the Techima South presidential election had been announced at the time of filing the petition, petitioner doggedly and with mischief, Supreme Court for the case was a petitioner doggedly and with mischief as his prime motive. Petitioner, John Mahama, with mischief as his prime motive, advances as a basis of his substantive relief of a second election with himself a second respondent as candidate, a hypothetical and impossible addition of total registered voter population. And the NDC for Air Supreme Court, no, based on voice here, your boy, said you can tell voice. Now, Omuni so married. Yes. Oman to man calculate, but you will tell you so. Yes. And the Supreme Court adheres to buy your making kind, paragraph 4, 5, 6. Was say NDC for document number 2, Supreme Court and Nimono. Almost say Omoyam calculation in Nano. Nana Nado, Ebenya more than 50%. And that's the Busa said. Now 50.09 no. Emma will be winning elections. So why were they in court? Yeah. Almost said that court to say, almost a court to one tia, said the bear John Mahama, Nisa Huna Walker fan say, to the extent they say, former president. As I'm to show you, Nusuna, Yanya is here. Let me a top Supreme Court for the unanimous 7. Kwaku, unanimous 7. Mr. John Mahama to win. Let's say, and Kwarabi Tomudin, say based on John Mahama. Wonema woye wone ya woye esema waka wo beka se atrofo nsia akwabensafo 9 akofifo num kwaku se obi ekasa se the 2 NDC
wo obi ka sen a
se atrofo 9 akwabensafo nsia akofifo num omo na ebe ya abradom hama ka ho a how do hama feel
enti we o se akofhwe hene enti obi ka se and akofhwe hene so wo campaign mu
akofhwe hene so wo campaign
and akofhwe hene ko sia asofo e wo Kumase
sauti de kosi ho
and akofhwe hene and obi ka se ayi
akofhwe hene atrofo nyina eja akwabensafo nua
ababon so bonsam na atrofo nyina eja wo
ene se ni obi Ghana sisi kwaku emfata se NDC for yesa na sab or yeah boy I think say one of the videos and that's
what maybe bo audio being so. Now ye the okay kind.
I'm making kind.
Now maybe bo audio no straightforward.
Maybe I should bo.
Me bo a seeding ketia.
Yes.
In a decum straightforward. Na me bo a seeding ketia na. A bear clear. Let's see for you because of Kujina Supreme Court. Ye be sano. Question no, justice ya apel. But justice ya apel, your mama na appointing no.
Your mama. So one put away kid that. One is
no NDC kid that. Only appointing the sole commissioner. And yet the honor equals you know. When the free anchor kusu. Okay. And the justice ya apel. And now Autotu exceeding Ketiano. Now you look at a small kind. Honorable Clement Kusu, Katie Hammond, and the Kusu, and a dress. Just Jamafe and a free anchor kusu. And a year duasare. Okay, so Katie Hammond the Kusu justice ya apel.
Yes.
Okay. And the Honorable Clement Wilkins is say waba. Monsieur Fimim, any Bidia Kone, Abidjan, and the Casapin. If you had a beboso, you ever call Usu.
I was a basso.
I see Usubaso. Auntie Rao.
Auntie Rao.
Tiobokobi. And I was there, made the video, no, about Remona Mahuni. So we are saying all this because, and then the Supreme Court, anymore, we are. NDC for Babiji judge for nothing. On Babiji Supreme Court, judge penny nothing. John Mahama and Kasankasa, you can write it everywhere. And the Belly the way the Supreme Court nothing. But who John Mahama? Say next year you sell by man penny crana, ain't no. As a Supreme Court judge and a sober swell in. And Sana, wait me about the man penny. When ni atra money tom. Go on. Speaker of Parliament conduct. It was our Parliament in Semi-Hono. In fact, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
I dare speak here, the Kokumi Miss Rome.
Of a source or mine.
Of a source or mine. You see, na 7 previous, maybe in church at Dimkaka.
Okay, before so much to speak and say, okay, I see them get here ordinary ready.
Oh, one fatum.
May I find no to
Fatum.
General, I know that when you purchase a pen drive, it is empty. And the data on any pen drive is generated by someone. So the pen drive that you attached to the hard copy and exhibited as Exhibit F, who generated or placed the data on it? Because when you were asked, you said you don't know what was on it. Who generated the data on the pen drive?
My Lord, as I said, honestly, I hadn't seen the pen drive and its contents till today. And I was relying on the hard copies.
But
the evidence is gathered by our Elections Directorate and Legal Directorate.
So they gave it to you and you exhibited it as part of your evidence?
No, I did not exhibit that document.
As part of the petition, he did not exhibit it. He made it quite clear.
So he swore on oath that it's for him, and he brought it to us.
He exhibited it. So I want to find out who generated it. So it means your election generated it and gave it to you and you exhibited it without seeing it.
Hard copies of the document because of the time pressure. I was discovering this thing today.
Okay,
so that's why I indicated that I haven't seen it.
I want to be very clear on these issues too. They're very important to me. Now, in all the figures that were mentioned as the valid vote cast and all those things, you were saying if the figures were correct, and that there were inconsistencies in the figures, I want to ask you now, in your own calculation, what were the total valid votes cast in the presidential elections on 7 December 2020? In your own calculations.
My Lord, those calculations are reserved for a meeting for us to reconcile the figures because the first respondent herself keeps changing the figures. And so it says, when you bring your...
Excuse me, let's look at here. Help the court. You see, when you started giving evidence, you said you had all representatives across the 275 constituencies. You said you put agents as, to use the... Yes, and they were to, collect the figures. You said it. Then he's asking you that from that, what figure did you get? You.
My Lord, I haven't brought that figure to court.
Okay. Then, from your own calculations, what were the valid votes cast in favor of the petitioners, to your knowledge?
My Lord, when we discovered this discrepancy, it was difficult to even know which figures are.
You don't know. You just answer. You don't know.
I don't have them here.
Okay. Then the last one. What figures from your own calculations did the second respondent get as the total valid votes cast in his favor?
My Lord, I don't have those figures here.
Thank you.
Enti owura si din ketia na mote nika we ni ade omokoye wo court. Anka santi we kura wie pe ese mo jesi mo we ba ko ni tato mo first one na mo boy mo san mo no tato after say okoye ese wo court no oko kan sense mu nyina se wan fa evidence anko even document or exhibit e kura godon oko court anu ni se sa document ni kura no so akwa exhibit o court
aba wajire hu dis we nyanse ni
am fansa we touch
me ko jira da ka bo mo fa results mra na me fa ngwa results o mo de ma me say wo di jira da ka ba bia se wo defend ya wo inde guase enunti yet me fa sa ne ma no comfort ana o mo se ne yan ko lawyer chikata ho ani eso asa document ne yi we so dia se man kan just e kan wan sem problem da san di ko lawyer chikata ho ya ko jaima no so we mu ade chi ho frɛ o se mo maji so mo je atlanti Gari maite. Seru na mo di kokko today a mo kope mo lawyer. Na me de minti me ko yes adu. Anu ti ne ko court a o mo bi sha se me results wo here am ka se am fa results bi am.
Ora se din ketia na amache ne kan nti se wo kokko court okogu hu ani mu ase wan fa evidence anko wan fa bibi anko na wie be share party for ebe confess se me ko e no man fa hwe anko lawyer chikata kura ka kire se ye kwa e be kwa kugu ye hu ani mu ase ama mpani apa ye kugu ye hu ani mu ase enso ya kwa ba ama ye be fresh supreme court for no se omo no mo edi ama kufu adra godon kuro ben so ne kasa asemi
but before godon me ba say busa question back was what the omo di ade no koma lawyer chikata ema chikata omo say dia anomu no omsum makranti anya chatu na ko defend wo
I'll say utie extended tape na chatu catch mo say ombetimi akwakoye gymnastics
inti ono chatu ko gina court wa no peja no gon no oya isem say na wo tre judges ni ya de nyina no nim say ensem hunu no wote honu
ba wo ni tirim say nyomori aba
oye no ensem hunu na no oye so no gina court dan ho te say piko
kurokuku
okay ya no tina omukọ court no was it they were not there to challenge
the validity of the results.
The validity of the result, but they were there to challenge the
declaration.
Constitutionality of the declaration of the results. And I mean, say constitutionality of the declaration. No, that be na constitution no akase. So ba be declare results wa. E was say eye kwasiada. Area 3:25 p.m. 14 seconds. Now ba Saturday tuntum. Ne kan no lipstick utinye no e was so kagu so na what asia mo de bunye straight but powder ko bo ya chemu say takum powder
and Saturday night
and Saturday there be Saturday night or Sunday afternoon
okay
it is Sunday afternoon there and say wo bo and na perfect begu wo there no ya flower di ni bia ya no na be say the constitutional requirement ni et omo kokko no munim say bibia ni they were just there to create a scene and indeed they succeeded kwaku ya no ti makan wo hada bi make sense to say I was say judicial council na say Supreme Court for mpedifo no e de ayi bi ba say regulations bi ba say ya to abawie e wo presidential now person wo ba Supreme Court e de petition ba enema miensa bi ana enan bi kwaku you must necessarily satisfy those requirements asan waba requirements bi kwaku ba kunye esa utiri prove initially say obi awiem na wo evidence eti wo wiem wo ahafo ano me wo evidence enie evidence le die Supreme Court for the be say evidence no e papa na say papa na wa kire wo wiem wo ahafo ano e ko wiem wo subi no si ya de tifri mu a menya sei na wo de no so de akire ya the difference menya say ya yes yisifo e declare say e ka wo bi benya 51.6 no ye tifri ma wa benya 49 e ma ni nya e wo say de be nyina wotimi de ba na e satisfy mo to say the bia person we yi electoral commission chairperson we yi na dia petition ne kwa e wo say chief justice it may establish a prima facie case against the chief justice it may so ka wo de nema me say kwa. If you are able to satisfy those things, then we go into the meat of the case. And yes, sir, anytime biano, obia betimi the name be at the Supreme Court say setting everybody on a wild goose chase. They said the end is for ye. Ye sheni ye. Waku. Adia speaker Babin ye no. Miraho na misruma Ghana. Yamra womo e kambra ho asem kunyine no epes court. And akasa asem win. But
if na oni ofusuampo for eco election no asem o ka che Ghana for ni say oko Supreme Court knowing very well say oni case oni adansidie ya man pink sheet ya man hwe royal tikata kura ka che o say asem amode kokko twidie mo kokko say court no mre akudin sim hu no but because of propaganda and say NDC achita for ne galbunti omo decide we kotena court e ma court to ma asem twene ya John Mahama ebilebo Supreme Court ne say omo ye unanimous FC e ho na sansi mu no e chance nti enne say court mu abiba na NDC for AD court na tema ne wa hu say omo court without a shred of evidence me ma go no ma kan bi ba me kan chat for say electoral commission at the figures no any details statistics of the register no e dey aba ye be share with for na ma hu ni parodo a e register so go no ma me ramo
misali pa so be send e bi mamu ya shoulder ba fato so 2 pages number 3456
okay
mbasa me de eka enkomo na ye di no ho voice ya the we boss is in ya NDC for no an kasa ni mu se aban na nadu ne wini en so mo court e said that ko page bone ma kwakuhwade
okay
ayi da swin ma menkan where Supreme Court ruling no
of election petition
okay copy bi na magidi abeto ma yes be ya e be tan reaching the